The grand bedroom of the Beverly Hills mansion erupted into chaos as Victor Langford gasped desperately for air. His body convulsed slightly on the expensive silk sheets. The air was thick with panic and uncertainty. Malik the loyal butler burst through the door without knocking. He had heard the strange noise from the hallway. His heart pounded as he rushed to the billionaire's side immediately. "Mister." "Hold on. I'm here now," Malik said in a steady voice. He gently lifted Victor's head and placed a pillow under it for support. His hands moved with practiced care. The family members soon followed the noise. Isaiah the son entered first with wide eyes full of fear. He froze at the sight of his father struggling for breath. Sophia the daughter screamed for help from the doorway. She clutched her phone tightly, ready to call for assistance. The situation felt surreal and terrifying to everyone present. Eleanor the wife pushed past the others with tears in her eyes. She demanded to know what had happened to her husband. Her voice echoed in the large room. Malik ignored the questions for now. Comfortable. "Breathe slowly. Sir. The paramedics are on their way," he whispered close to the man's ear. Victor managed a weak nod, fleeting look of gratitude. The bond between them had always been strong but secret in many ways. The paramedics arrived within minutes. They took over the scene with efficiency and professionalism. Monitors were attached and oxygen was administered quickly. Malik stepped back but remained in the room. His presence was a quiet anchor amid the storm of activity. No one questioned his role yet. At the hospital later that evening, the family waited anxiously in the private waiting room. Doctors had taken Victor into surgery for his heart condition. Isaiah paced back and forth, unable to sit still. He glanced at Malik, who sat quietly in the corner with a composed expression. "Why were you the first one there with him again?" Sophia asked Malik pointedly. Her tone carried an edge of suspicion that hung in the air. Malik met her gaze calmly. "It was my duty to respond right away," he replied evenly. Inside he felt the weight of unspoken truths. Eleanor dabbed at her eyes with a tissue. She had always relied on Malik during family crises. Yet today something felt different in his demeanor. The doctor finally emerged with an update. Victor had survived the initial procedure but remained critical. The next few hours would determine everything. Isaiah approached Malik in the hallway during a quiet moment. "Thank you for being there," he said softly. Their eyes locked with shared understanding. Malik nodded without speaking much. He had served the Langford family for 15 years. Over time his role had become far more personal. Memories flashed through Malik's mind of late nights helping Isaiah with difficult decisions. Those conversations had built a foundation no one else knew about. Back in the waiting room, the family discussed business matters nervously. Shares and inheritance loomed large in their worried conversations. Malik stayed apart from the group, that of an employee. The truth of his heart remained carefully guarded. Hours dragged on with tension building. Coffee cups piled up on the tables. Everyone felt the strain of uncertainty pressing down. Isaiah sat beside Malik eventually. Their shoulders brushed lightly in silent support. It was a small gesture that meant the world in that moment. The night wore on with little news. Lightly, but the family remained on edge. Malik continued his quiet vigil without complaint. By morning light filtered through the hospital windows, the doctor returned with cautious optimism. Victor might wake soon if things continued improving. Sophia crossed her arms tightly. Once more. Questions about his closeness to her father lingered unspoken. Eleanor thanked Malik for his quick actions. Her words were sincere yet tinged with the exhaustion of the long night. The family owed him a great deal. Isaiah squeezed Malik's hand briefly when no one was looking. Their secret connection provided strength amid the fear. It had grown deeper over the years. The group decided to return home briefly for rest. Malik offered to stay at the hospital in case Victor needed anything. No one objected strongly. Alone in the corridor, Malik allowed himself a deep breath. The weight of the secret he carried felt heavier than ever. Love had a way of complicating everything. Victor stirred slightly in his room later that day. His eyes opened briefly and searched the space. Malik was there waiting patiently by the bed. "Malik," Victor whispered hoarsely. His voice was weak but clear enough. Malik leaned closer with gentle reassurance. I always do. Sir. Held layers of history no outsider could fully grasp. The family returned in the afternoon with fresh clothes and determined faces. They surrounded the bed with a mix of relief and lingering worry. Isaiah stood close to Malik again. Their shared glances spoke volumes in the crowded room. Tension simmered beneath the surface of concern. Sophia noticed the proximity and frowned deeply. She pulled her brother aside later for a private word. Doubts about Malik's role began to surface openly. Eleanor tried to keep the peace among them. She valued stability above all else in the family. Yet the crisis had shaken more than just Victor's health. Malik excused himself to fetch water and supplies. He needed a moment to collect his thoughts. The coming days would test every bond they had. Back in the room, conversations turned to the future. Victor listened weakly, but his eyes held questions of their own. The air felt charged with possibility. The doctor advised limited visitors for now. Malik was allowed to stay because of his long service. It was a small victory in a difficult time. Isaiah whispered thanks once more before leaving for the evening. His words carried more than gratitude. The hospital quieted as night fell again. Malik sat by the bed reflecting on years of loyalty and hidden affection. The truth could not stay buried forever. Victor drifted in and out of sleep. Each moment of awareness brought a new layer of emotion to the surface. Family secrets had a way of revealing themselves. Malik adjusted the blankets carefully. His care was tender and unwavering. It was the kind of devotion that went beyond any job description. The first file ended here as the night deepened with unresolved questions hanging in the air. The crisis had only just begun to expose what lay beneath. The next morning brought a fragile sense of hope to the hospital room. Victor's color had improved slightly under the monitoring lights. Malik remained at his post without complaint. Isaiah arrived early with coffee for everyone. He handed a cup to Malik with a meaningful look. Their fingers brushed in a way that felt electric yet innocent. Sophia watched them from across the room. Her suspicion grew with each small interaction she observed. She had always been protective of the family name. Eleanor spoke quietly with the doctor about long-term care. She wanted the best for her husband no matter the cost. The empire they built together could not crumble now. Malik recalled the day he first joined the household. Fresh from college, he had impressed Victor with his quiet competence and dedication. It felt like a lifetime ago. Isaiah had been a teenager then, full of artistic dreams and quiet rebellion. Their paths crossed often in the garden or library late at night. Those early conversations had started innocently enough. Isaiah confided his struggles with expectations. Malik listened without judgment, offering steady support. Over the years the bond deepened, through shared late nights and quiet moments. Malik helped Isaiah navigate college applications and personal doubts. Victor had noticed the closeness once or twice but said little. He valued Malik's loyalty above questions of propriety. The family dynamic had its own balance. Now in the hospital, those memories resurfaced vividly for Malik. He wondered how the truth would change everything once revealed. Sophia cornered Malik in the hallway during a break. "You've always been around my brother more than necessary," she said sharply. Her words carried accusation. Malik responded with measured calm. Isaiah needed guidance like anyone else. He kept his tone professional. Isaiah overheard and stepped in to defend quietly. "Malik has been a true friend to me." His voice held quiet steel. Eleanor intervened to ease the tension. She appreciated Malik's presence more than she let on. The family relied on his stability in crises. Victor woke more fully that afternoon. He asked for Malik by name first. No one challenged it openly. Malik approached the bed with a gentle smile. He adjusted the pillows and offered water. Their exchange was brief but filled with mutual respect. Isaiah sat nearby watching with quiet pride. He admired how Malik handled pressure with grace. Their secret had sustained them through many storms. Flashbacks continued in Malik's mind as the day progressed. He remembered the night Isaiah confessed his feelings months earlier. The confession had changed their lives forever. They had kept it private out of respect for Victor's health. The timing never seemed right for full disclosure. Love required patience in their world. Sophia pressed Eleanor about Malik's influence later. She worried about inheritance and appearances. Traditional values clashed with the unfolding reality. Eleanor sighed heavily. Connections, but chose not to probe. Family unity mattered more than perfect understanding. The afternoon stretched with medical checks and quiet talks. Malik coordinated with nurses efficiently. His role felt natural and essential. Isaiah pulled Malik aside in a private corner. "I don't know what I'd do without you here," he admitted softly. Their hands touched briefly in comfort. The gesture went unnoticed by the family. Yet it strengthened their resolve. Deep to uproot easily. Victor spoke weekly about business matters. He trusted Malik to handle certain documents at home. The delegation highlighted their long partnership. Malik nodded and made notes carefully. He would ensure everything ran smoothly. No. As evening approached, the family prepared to leave again. Isaiah lingered longer than the others. His connection to Malik provided quiet solace. The hospital lights dimmed slightly for night. Malik settled into his chair once more. Reflections on their journey filled the quiet hours. Years of service had taught him about sacrifice and quiet strength. Isaiah had become his anchor in return. Their love was built on mutual understanding. The family dynamics shifted subtly with each passing hour. Suspicion mixed with gratitude in equal measure. The crisis forced everyone to confront hidden truths. Malik felt the weight of impending revelation. He knew the time was approaching. Divide them forever. Victor rested more peacefully that night. His breathing steadied under careful watch. Small victories felt significant in the larger battle. Isaiah sent a text of encouragement to Malik before sleep. The simple message carried layers of affection. Their bond remained a private sanctuary. The second file ended with the household beginning to sense deeper undercurrents. The secret love story had started to surface gently through the chaos. Dawn brought renewed activity to the hospital wing. Victor showed signs of further improvement under the specialist care. Malik coordinated breakfast details with quiet efficiency. Isaiah arrived with fresh flowers for his father. He placed them carefully by the bed. For Malik. Sophia reviewed documents on her tablet. She questioned certain arrangements that involved Malik's input. Her protectiveness stemmed from deep family loyalty. Eleanor mediated conversations carefully. She sensed growing friction but hoped for harmony. The crisis had already tested everyone's patience. Malik remembered a specific evening years ago when Isaiah faced rejection from a close friend. The support he offered then had sealed their emotional connection. They had talked for hours under the stars in the mansion garden. Isaiah opened up about his true self. Malik listened with an open heart. That night marked the beginning of something profound. Their friendship evolved into a loving partnership built on trust and shared dreams. Victor had indirectly encouraged their closeness by assigning joint tasks. He valued Malik's influence on his son. The billionaire's intuition proved insightful. Now the family gathered for a private discussion nearby. Whispers about Malik's role grew louder. Isaiah defended him firmly without revealing everything. Sophia challenged the closeness directly. "It seems more than professional," she stated bluntly. Her words hung heavy in the sterile air. Malik remained composed under scrutiny. He explained his long service and genuine care. Details stayed carefully guarded for the right moment. Eleanor urged calm among them, her own health scare years earlier. Gratitude tempered her doubts. Isaiah pulled Malik aside again later. Their conversation turned personal in hushed tones. "I love you for standing by us all this time," he confessed quietly. The admission strengthened Malik's resolve. Their relationship had weathered professional boundaries and family expectations. It was real and enduring. Victor called for a family meeting in his room that afternoon. His voice was still weak but determined. He wanted clarity on the future. Malik stood respectfully in the background. He sensed the conversation might turn personal soon. The air crackled with unspoken anticipation. Sophia voiced concerns about the company's succession. She worried about outside influences affecting decisions. Her tone remained sharp and protective. Eleanor supported her daughter's points while acknowledging Malik's contributions. Balance was key in their complicated world. Isaiah spoke up about loyalty and trust. He highlighted Malik's unwavering dedication. His words carried double meaning for those who knew the truth. Victor listened intently with fading strength. His eyes flicked to Malik with quiet understanding. The billionaire had pieced together more than he let on. The meeting ended with tentative agreements. Tension eased slightly, but questions lingered. The family needed time to process the shifting dynamics. Malik returned to Victor's side afterward. He adjusted medications and offered comfort. Their silent exchanges spoke of mutual respect and history. Isaiah joined them briefly before leaving. The three men shared a moment of quiet solidarity. It felt like the calm before a necessary storm. Back at the mansion that evening, the atmosphere felt changed. Servants whispered about the crisis. Malik maintained professional composure throughout. Sophia confronted her brother in the study. She demanded honesty about his relationship with the butler. Accusations flew in heated whispers. Isaiah stood firm without full confession yet. He defended their friendship passionately. The truth hovered close to the surface now. Eleanor overheard and joined the discussion. She encouraged openness for the family's sake. Her wisdom came from years of navigating complex emotions. Malik prepared dinner arrangements from the hospital updates. He ensured Victor's favorites were ready for his return. Small acts of care mattered deeply. The third file closed with building pressure toward revelation. Hidden love had sustained them through years of quiet devotion, and now faced the ultimate test. Victor returned home under careful medical supervision the following week. The mansion buzzed with activity once more. Malik oversaw every detail with precision. Isaiah stayed close to both his father and Malik. Their shared glances grew more frequent in the familiar surroundings. Tension reached a breaking point. The family convened in the living room for an important discussion. Victor insisted on full transparency about recent events. His health demanded honesty. Sophia raised the issue of Malik's influence directly. She cited observed closeness and questioned motives. The room fell silent with anticipation. Eleanor urged patience and understanding. She reminded everyone of Malik's years of selfless service. Gratitude filled her words amid uncertainty. Malik stood calmly before them. Heart. The time had come to speak his truth without fear. Isaiah stepped forward beside him. The revelation unfolded naturally from the accumulated pressure. "We have been in a loving relationship for over a year," Isaiah announced clearly. His voice held steady conviction. Malik confirmed the statement with quiet dignity. He described their bond as one of mutual respect and deep affection. No details crossed into privacy. Victor listened without surprise, approved silently. His health crisis had prompted this moment of clarity. Sophia reacted with initial shock and disbelief. She processed the news through tears and questions. Traditional views clashed with the new reality. Eleanor embraced the truth gradually. Her heart opened to the possibility of expanded family love. The confrontation peaked in emotional exchanges. Accusations gave way to honest dialogue. Each person confronted their own assumptions about loyalty and acceptance. Malik shared how their relationship had strengthened him personally. It brought purpose beyond his professional role. The confession lifted a heavy burden. Isaiah expressed gratitude for the support during his father's illness. Their love had provided strength when the family needed it most. Victor spoke weakly from his chair. The billionaire's blessing came as a profound surprise to everyone. The room filled with a mix of tears and tentative understanding. The climax of revelation reshaped their perspectives entirely. Malik felt relief wash over him. The secret no longer defined their interactions. Openness allowed for authentic connection moving forward. Isaiah held Malik's hand openly now. The gesture symbolized their commitment in front of the family. It marked a new chapter of honesty. Sophia softened as the evening progressed. She apologized for her earlier harshness. Growth emerged from the painful honesty. Eleanor hugged both men warmly. Family circle. Acceptance bloomed in the wake of crisis. Victor watched with quiet satisfaction. His health crisis had forced necessary change. The family emerged stronger through the ordeal. The fourth file ended with the peak emotions settling into cautious hope. The truth had been laid bare, and the healing process began in earnest. Weeks passed with Victor regaining strength at home. The mansion felt lighter with open communication among everyone. Malik continued his duties with renewed purpose. Isaiah and Malik spent more time together openly. Their relationship flourished in the supportive environment. Shared meals and conversations deepened their bond. Sophia engaged Malik in genuine talks about the future. She learned to appreciate his perspective and contributions. Respect replaced previous suspicion. Eleanor organized family gatherings to foster unity. She included Malik as an equal participant. The changes brought warmth to their once formal household. Victor recovered enough for short walks in the garden. He spoke privately with Malik about life lessons. Their friendship had evolved into something paternal. Isaiah pursued his artistic passions with fresh confidence. Malik's support remained constant and encouraging. Together they balanced career and personal dreams. The family reflected on the crisis that sparked change. They recognized how hidden truths had nearly divided them. Acceptance proved more powerful than tradition. Malik felt truly at home for the first time. The revelation had integrated him fully into the Langford world. Love had triumphed over fear. Isaiah proposed a quiet commitment ceremony in the garden later that season. The family attended with full support and joy. It symbolized their new beginning. Victor gave a heartfelt toast at the event. He praised the courage of both men, celebrated authentic love. Sophia and Eleanor embraced the couple warmly. The family circle expanded with understanding. Bonds strengthened through honesty and empathy. Malik looked back on his journey with gratitude. From loyal butler to beloved partner, the path had been worth every challenge. Their story inspired quiet hope. The mansion gardens bloomed vibrantly under the California sun. Laughter echoed where tension once reigned. Life moved forward with renewed harmony. Victor watched the scene from his favorite chair. His health stabilized thanks to the support around him. The family had grown closer through adversity. Isaiah and Malik walked hand in hand along the path. Their love shone brightly without shame. The future held promise for all of them. The entire household celebrated small victories daily. Medical checkups brought positive news. Emotional healing paralleled physical recovery. Malik reflected on the power of truth in family dynamics. It had transformed suspicion into solidarity. Their experience offered lessons for others facing similar paths. As autumn approached, the Langfords planned a larger gathering. Friends and extended relatives would witness the new family dynamic. Pride replaced past secrecy. Isaiah thanked Malik for standing firm through it all. Their partnership had weathered the storm beautifully. Together they faced whatever came next. The story concluded with peaceful resolution and quiet optimism. The gay butler's truth had shocked the family, but ultimately united them in deeper love and acceptance. True or false, hidden truths in a family can ultimately strengthen bonds if rooted in genuine love.